Okay, so this is going to be our second video on rerouting the Terminator wiring harness and installing the AC. As you can see, the dash and pretty much everything inside the car has been removed. We are down to a firewall and wiring harness pretty much. I've ordered a new heater core, which should be here any day now, a new evaporator. I was going to use these 3/8 fittings. They're 3/8 to 10 AN, but I think I'm going to go to a 12 AN, and I've got some weld-on bungs that I can weld to the plates that bolt onto this heater core. That way they're interchangeable. If I have to replace the heater core, I can just move them to the new heater core. You can see everything here laid out on the table. Haven't started removing the wiring harness yet. That's next to come. That'll be in the next video, or later in this video actually. But you can see everything is out of the car. We've started taping up the wiring harness and cleaning things up. So that will be next. Then we will add some holes outside on the firewall to bring the wiring harness into the interior of the car. Okay, so we're getting somewhat close to being ready to start mocking up this heat and AC. I've kind of been working a little bit without filming. I'm trying to get these harnesses taped up. Nobody wants to watch that, but I'm using a product. It's a fabric type tape. They use a lot on some of the European, the Volkswagen, Porsche type stuff. This one is called a Red Wolf. I got it on Amazon. It's fairly cheap. You can buy a pack that's got 4 or 5 rolls in it together. So we're working on getting the harness back where it belongs, getting it back in shape, getting things taped up and cleaned up, and then we will start working on getting the evaporator in. I've ordered a new evaporator, all the parts I've ordered, new heater core. We will start. I've got to weld the AN bungs onto the heater core. I'll do that sometime, probably this coming weekend. Not in a hurry. They won't be here probably. I think they'll be here on Tuesday. I ordered them from a company called Evil Energy. I've bought quite a few things from them, a lot of hose, a lot of fittings from them. We'll use those coming up here soon. We're gonna, like I said, redo the heater hoses inside, kind of custom. There'll be a short PTFE hose with AN fittings on each end going to a bulkhead, and the bulkhead will connect to hoses outside, which will go over to the water pump. We will put AN fittings in the water pump. I'll do a separate video on that. We have at BDE Racing Solutions online, we have kits that we're getting ready to release that come with both of the AN fittings, both in AN. You can get both AN10, or you can get one AN10, one AN12. It comes with the fittings and the taps so that you can tap the water pump and put the fitting in the water pump. We'll go over that probably next week or the week after. I'm going to do the water pump that's going to be going back on here. We're replacing the water pump on here. We covered that earlier in a video about getting a shorter pulley, give us a little bit more room to work with up there, especially once we put the air conditioning condenser up there. We're going to need all the room we can get. So, but we've got all the hard lines, all of the evaporator box, the heater box. We have a heater core box here, all from a donor car. So all that'll go back in. We're just trying to make sure we get it up in here so that it's in the factory location and works like it needs to. So I'll come back when we're ready to start mocking this thing up and getting things fitted in here, and we'll video that some more. So we'll see you in a bit. Okay, so we've got the heater core and the evaporator box in. They are not in permanent. They are just sitting here. These are for mock-up purposes only. I'm trying to figure out where to bring the wiring harness for the Holley Terminator, where to bring it in and how to route it so that it's not in a bad position or hard to get to if I ever need to get to it again. I think the way I'm going to bring it in is, let me get a light here. Turn this light on. This is a cheapy light that I got. I think I bought that thing off of Amazon as well. I think I'm going to bring it in right here, right underneath the evaporator entry where the evaporator and the expansion valve are. Outside it will be right here, just below where the evaporator comes out. So I'm going to bring it in right down here. I've got a watertight bulkhead that I'll pull the wires through, bring it in right there. So once that, running the wires back through, some of them run over here to the fuse box. A lot of them, the ECU I will probably mount in the glove box for easy access. So I'll just drill a hole in the back of the glove box and run the wiring through that way. And we'll start putting this together. I think for the heater and heater hoses, I'm going to try and bring, I've got some AN bulkhead fittings. I'm going to bring them, I don't know if you can see it or not, right through where that, let's see, that black grommet is right there. I'm going to run the two bulkheads through that, and then I will run the heater hoses across the back of the engine and over to the water pump. So we're making progress. I've just got to make sure I've got everything where I want it before I drill my holes and pull my harness through. But I think we're really close. I've got a new evaporator ordered. I'm going to replace everything in the evaporator box while I'm here. The evaporator, the expansion valve. We've got a new condenser coming. I mean, I'm going to spend money on a new compressor. You might as well put all that stuff in here new too, because it's not very expensive, I think. If you buy from Rock Auto, you can get the evaporator, the dryer, the expansion valve, and the condenser. I think it's like $140 or less. It was pretty cheap. So I'm going to do that. We'll have to make up our own AC lines after the fact. Once we know what the length is going to be, we'll make our AC lines. Trying to think what else to cover here. Here's the harness. I've just got to bring it through that bulkhead, and I'll run it through over here. We'll step over here and look at what we've got laid out so we can tell you how we're going to do the heater core and all that stuff. Hold on just a second. Okay. All right, for the heater core, we are basically just going to take the factory heater core. I've saved and found another. These tubes bolt on. They have an O-ring, but they have a spacer. You can't find them anywhere. You can't get them at the dealer. So when I was at the junkyard the other day at the salvage yard getting all of these AC parts, I went ahead and pulled the heater core off the car that I was getting parts from and went and got this. I wasn't sure if it would come with the new heater core. It did, so now I have an extra. But we are going to cut these tubes. We have some AN12 weld-on bungs. And then we will put, of course you can see I bought a bunch of stuff from Evil Energy. I've been pretty impressed with their AN fittings and stuff. I really have liked the ones I've used so far. Pretty good quality, pretty good price. We have a lot of these here in stock if you're looking for some. I don't have them on our website. I will start putting them out there as we go. But these have been pretty nice. I mean, the PTFE hose they send is good quality. Can't complain a bit. Been pretty nice. As you can see, we ordered quite a few. I think I don't know how many fittings we've got in stock, but we've got some. We'll start putting them out. This is an expansion tank for the radiator. We will have to move the radiator forward about a 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch for the condenser to go in between. Just not quite enough room. I need about another 1/2 inch. So we'll move that a 1/2 inch. Of course, we're planning to change the water pump out to the Corvette and GTO and Camaro style water pump with the small thin pulley, so that'll gain some room here. We'll be able to move this out fairly easily. We've got about 1.5 inches between the fan and the crankshaft, so our 3/4 of an inch is not going to be an issue. And then of course we are going to remove the nipples from the water pump, the new water pump as we get it. We'll remove those nipples. We're going to tap those holes and put AN fittings in, and we'll have dash 12 AN heater hoses coming from the back of the firewall over here. Here's that, where is it at? Right there is that plastic grommet I was showing you from the inside. So that can go there. We can come out, turn a 90 and go back across the back of the motor and then come around to the water pump here. So it won't be an issue at all. We'll cover that in another video. I'll probably do a video just on swapping out the water pump, changing those fittings separately. And of course the heater hose stuff will be part of doing this AC swap. All right, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Most of all, subscribe. And if you're interested, go out and grab some of our BDE merch on our website. We've got plenty of it in stock. Just let us know what you need. Thanks, and have a good one. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, don't forget to go out and pick up some merch at BDERacingSolutions.com. And remember, 100% of the profit goes back to the Ben Davis Memorial Scholarship. Thanks.